Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have figured out my orientation issues with the camera, so I'm going to give it another go here. Here we've got a cat, and he's chilling in the moonlight with a tree and just a bunch of weeds and grass. And then here we have what appears to be some kind of alien man hybrid. And he's getting shot by a helicopter up here. He's got a knife through his head. We don't really know where that came from. This elephant, and you can obviously tell this must be a giant alien because the elephant is somewhat dwarfed in comparison even to just his head. But the elephant is ramming the side of his face with its tusks. And then we have this little humble eyeball that is able to shoot a laser at the other side of his face. And so you can tell he's just kind of getting messed up by all these separate entities, but you can tell by the look on his face he doesn't actually seem to mind. But he could be insane, so he doesn't know that he's like dying or doesn't care. And then here we have the Lombardi Collective, as you can see there. And basically what that consists of is, here we have like a mountain giant. Like you can tell these are mountains. These are trees, so that's like the size reference. And you can tell this mountain giant is hanging out over here. He's got his giant beard, his kind of cone-shaped head. And he's just holding onto the mountain for whatever reason. And there's this, strange spaceship that's shooting this sort of like laser at his head for, whatever reason. And then there's a large alien, bipedal creature just hanging out in this forest. And then over here we have beef tripe. And there's actually no beef or tripe present, but there's a very hairy spider on sort of like an upside down graduated cylinder, or like a beaker, and then like a bell. I have no idea what the hell that is. And there's like a chalice, kinda. Just a random building. Here we have shapes of bapes. That can mean whatever you want it to mean. And you can see, this pattern of squares / rectangular sort of shapes. Here we have like a box and a light bulb, and like just a sphere. I guess the sphere is hanging out on this table, sort of in the background. You can see the shadow from the light bulb of the sphere, and then some sort of like radio device maybe, and another box, and the shadow of the box is being cast from the light bulb onto what appears to be like another table that this table is standing on. And then here's just some weird shapes with like a tube coming out of them. And this might be like a tornado kind of fixture. I'm not even really sure, to be honest. And here is an octopus. It's probably one of the only octopus that I feel like I've actually drawn with like the sort of correct shape of head. But this is also a cowtopus, as you can see by the cow spots. You might even say that it's dappled. I think that's the correct usage of that word. And here is like a prehistoric dragon-like T-Rex creature. You can tell it's prehistoric by the volcano that is active amongst these palm trees. It's very prehistoric looking sun. This smoggy sort of hazy clouds. And you can see, it's not just a regular T-Rex. Like it kind of has, it's supposed to be like scales. And he's got horns. And then, this sort of dragon beard slash chicken foot coming off of his chin, and his weird hands are like kind of clawy. Yeah, that's about it for that one. And then here we have, I guess, just a sort of a space scenario where there's a UFO that might have a bit of, what do you call it, like it's like mechanical, biomechanical parts. You know, you can see an eyeball clearly at the top. So this could be a living UFO where it's part, you know, part being and part ship. And then there's like some satellites over here with around this planet that has like a shitload of moons. And then this one is also a planet, but it's only got 2 moons. And then this is like a distant, well, it's not that distant. It's a large sun with all kinds of activity going on, you know, very, very active sun. And then there's like a giant Earth-like planet right here. You can see the continents and the water. And yeah, that's about it for that one. Here we have a very like lumpy sort of hyena, maybe. Hyena, like coyote slash horse, maybe. You can see his horse kind of mane, but then he's got this weird coyote like face, but with way more teeth than is necessary for sure. And some sort of like horse hooves, you know, horse legs, horse hooves, and just lumps. Maybe these are like his muscles or something. I don't know. And this is a flying bat donut, which I'm sure you've all heard of. You can see his bat wings, and then it's jelly on the top, or icing maybe, and the donut body. He's got his eyes, and then here's just lumber. You know, sometimes you see lumber up in the sky, and this is one of those times. And then here we have the Oxnard beef yard, which I'm sure you're all familiar with in some form. Here it takes on a very, very robust sort of cow. You can see he's got the lumps. You know, he's a bit elongated, you could say. You really can't see his other 2 legs, but these 2 legs are here. Maybe the fat is blocking the other 2 legs. And he's got his signature cow nose ring, I guess, like a bull, but it's definitely a cow. Well, he could be a bull, who knows. He's got his cow spots. And then here's clearly the farm that he must reside on or near. You know, you don't really see the barn, or maybe the barn's here. This is like the grain mill right here. And this is like the farmhouse or the barn. And then here's like maybe the farmhouse. And then just standard background with the weeds and some tree. Just a tree, not some tree. And some clouds. And then here we have pumpkin poo, where it's basically just a pumpkin who pooed. And then there's a broom and a witch hat to sort of maybe go with like the Halloween kind of theme that a pumpkin would reside in, as well as his poo up here. And then this is very, very basic, just exoplanety Earth-like planet with 1 moon, so very Earth-like. And then, you know, whatever the hell planet this is, like maybe like a Mercury or like a Mars kind of like planet. It's got a few moons. It's just a lot of stars. And then here we have an eagle. It's like a bald eagle. You can see the mountains in the background. And he's on a tree limb. This is supposed to be like a tree in the foreground that he is hanging out on. And you can see the forest and the grass and the weeds. And then here is a very large lizard sort of creature. You can tell it's a desert-like environment by the cacti, the blazing hot sun over there. And this is like the wavy stuff is kind of like sand, and this must be just like a rock or a pile of sand or something. I don't know. And you can see he's come from this direction with his footprints. And that's about it for that. And then this one is a bit strange. Like, this is a dude's face, but his hair is like the top of a tomato, and then you can see his head is also somewhat spherical and has the shiny spot, kind of like a very fresh tomato. But then his chin turns into like a fist that's uppercutting an apple. And you can see the apple is very upset about that. Did not want to be punched in the mouth or in the chin. He's kind of, he might even be like crying a little bit. His tongue is sticking out. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. He's not having a good time. This guy, clearly does not showing a lot of remorse. You can see in his eyes, he may even be a little bit bonkers. Like you can see one eye is clearly smaller than the other eye. We're not sure how that happened. And then his ear is a foot. So, clearly this guy's got some issues. And then this dude is just really excited to be there. He's got a big smile on, and we're not really sure what he is, but he's got some long legs and some kind of tentacle arms. And he's just flailing around like one of those balloons that they have at the car dealerships. He's got a silly hat. He kind of looks like Mr. Greedy from the Mr. Men books, if you know what I'm talking about, but just a way weirder version. And here is a very, very weird scene. I don't know what any of this is supposed to be. This is like a weird, janky alien with some weird, janky alien clothes or something. I don't know. He's like ripped, I guess. He's got like a six-pack. I don't know. This is like an exotic alligator, maybe. He's gonna get a monkey face and then this like weird body. Oh, and then I guess he's got like a scorpion-like tail with these bulbousy parts at the end, and then his chin is like a big thing with spikes coming out of it. So it's clearly some mysterious alien creature. And then you can see the ship that this guy probably came from. He's jumping up in front of, the point of view, I guess, for whatever reason. He's got a stupid, like, oxygen mask or something. And you can tell he's got his arms akimbo. So he's a trustworthy alien, because any alien that rolls with their arms akimbo is definitely one you want to trust, even though he's got his janky clothes. And then here you can see this mysterious, it must be, similar to this guy. It's like a, under the water. He's about to maybe snatch up this little creature. It's like some sort of, space alligator. This is supposed to be like a pond or a lake or something. And then you can see this kind of weird shrubbery and these weeds. And there's two suns. You can see the one sun there, the other sun there. Maybe some moons or something. I don't know what the hell that is. These are just like these orbs. Maybe they're moons. I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. I think we'll wrap it on here because this is running a little long. So that should do it. And I will see you guys next time.